Pentagon is launching a new investigation over Donald Trump's Iran debacle, and Pete Hegseth should be sweating bullets right now. Bullets that smell like beer, I swear. This whole situation would be hilarious if it wasn't so pathetic. Welcome back to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. As the week continues, President Taco's attack on Iran continues to dominate conversation, both nationally and internationally. Trump and several major cabinet members, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, are currently attending a NATO summit at The Hague, and reporters from all over the world continue to press the men on the results of the attack on Iran's Fordo nuclear facility, Trump's motives in proceeding with the bombing, and where all of this leaves the war between Iran and Israel. In an interview earlier today, Secretary Rubio gave a mixed answer when addressing the results of the attack.
I can't talk to you about intelligence. I can also tell you that intelligence leaks are one of the most frustrating things anywhere, not just because you got somebody who has access to this putting stuff out there, but because it's so often mischaracterized. An intelligence report, for anyone who's ever seen it, sometimes is an assessment. Some analyst will make an assessment, or analysts will make an assessment. And in these leaks, what you typically have is someone who read it and then leaks it to the media, giving it the spin and the angle they want it to have because they've got some purpose. Embarrass the administration, they were against the action, whatever it may be.
And it gets worse, so stay with me. Rubio likely seemed uncomfortable addressing that question as a top-secret Pentagon report leaked to the media revealed that Iranian officials moved key elements of their nuclear facility, including enriched uranium, to an undisclosed location prior to the attack. Earlier today, at the NATO summit, Hegseth did his best to spin the results of the attack.
There's a reason the president calls out fake news for what it is. These pilots, these refuelers, these fighters, these air defenders, the skill and the courage it took to go into enemy territory flying 36 hours on behalf of the American people and the world to take out a nuclear program is beyond what anyone in this audience can fathom. And then the instinct of CNN, the instinct of the New York Times is to try to find a way to spin it for their own political reasons to try to hurt President Trump or our country. So if you want to make an assessment of what happened at Fordo, you better get a big shovel and go really deep, because Iran's nuclear program is obliterated. And somebody somewhere is trying to leak something to say, oh, with low confidence, we think maybe it's moderate. Those that drop the bombs precisely in the right place know exactly what happened when that exploded. And you know who else knows? Iran. That's why they came to the table right away, because their nuclear capabilities have been set back beyond what they thought were possible.
Hegseth might put on a brave face, but trust me, that won't last for long. Stay with me here. Hegseth's tenure as Secretary of Defense has invited wide criticism both for official decisions he's made, like firing high-ranking female or black military personnel, calling them DEI hires, or renaming the USS Harvey Milk to better project warrior culture, which is ridiculous. There's also the matter of Hegseth's Signal chat leak earlier this year, and Donald Trump's holding Hegseth responsible for the flop military parade 2 weeks ago. But if Hegseth thought he was out of the woods, he should think again. A new report from Politico reveals that the Pentagon under Hegseth has launched an internal investigation into the leak of the recent intel report. This, to be clear, is the same intel report that revealed that Iran had moved its nuclear materials out of Fordo and that the damage to the Fordo facility was not as dire as originally thought. The irony is that Hegseth is contradicting his own intelligence report the more he insists that the damage at Fordo was severe, and the more he pushes the idea that the media has some conspiracy to make Donald Trump look bad. First of all, reporting on a government intel report does not reek of personal vendetta. It's just reporting facts. And as a member of the media, let me tell you, Donald Trump does a great job at making himself look bad. We don't need to help him there. This intelligence investigation will also test Hegseth's resolve and capability. Reports have dogged his tenure that the Pentagon is in chaos, largely because Hegseth doesn't know what he's doing as Secretary of Defense, and he has very little interest in learning. But I bet he'd drop everything for a bottle of Glenfiddich and a field trip to a gentleman's club right now. We'll keep you posted on the results of the Pentagon leak investigation, but we have a feeling Hegseth won't follow through on the results. After all, if he fires people for leaking, shouldn't he be on the top of that list? The clown show continues. This is Occupy Democrats.